Hi, I'm Brent, owner and founder of Valkyrie Archery Systems. I wanted to give you a brief rundown of what we do here at Valkyrie and what you can expect to get from us. So our goal here at Valkyrie Archery is to give you the highest chance of lethal impact with your arrow build in the widest variety of hunting conditions. So that's been our goal from the beginning. Has been my goal from the beginning, even before I had the company, was I wanted the arrow to give me the best chance of success in the widest variety of circumstances, whether it's marginal hits, high wind, nick in a branch, anything that can happen out there. I wanted to have something I could control was my arrow design, because once you let that string go, anything can happen, and it has happened to me. So I've been on a quest of that for years, to get the highest chance of success with my arrow build that I can, because this is something I can control. So, and it started with the Broadhead design. So we were started out with a single bevel 2-blade and machined out of high carbon tool steel, and then a friend of mine sent me this old school Broadhead that was similar to our Jagger Broadhead now, and when I saw it, it looked similar to this. It was a little shorter and a little wider, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, I couldn't believe that Broadhead wasn't on the market. I mean, there was nothing like it on the market. It had the shuttle T-lock, but it was like a super scaled down mini version of it. And so we pretty much took that old school Broadhead, put it on steroids with modern technology, machined out of high carbon tool steel, heat treated, and then we built a lot of other things into it, but we'll do another video on all the concept behind our Broadhead, and every single aspect of our Broadhead is we tried to maximize its effectiveness in flight and penetration through soft and heavy tissue. So once we designed the Broadhead and we got the prototypes done and ready to go, we were going to test them, and using store-bought arrows and components, we soon found out that, hey, if we want to maximize the performance of our Broadhead to the greatest capacity, what it can, we needed to build new components. So at that time we were running gold tip hunters with, we built some extra long inserts and put sleeves over the outside so we could shoot. We were shooting plywood and bones and steel plates and stuff like that, so we wanted to have a relative strength comparison for the Broadheads. And so we built components for that, and then once we got the Broadhead where we wanted it to be for strength and penetration, and then we started thinking about, well, in order to maximize its effectiveness, we had to build an arrow system, a delivery system behind it, and that's why we're called Valkyrie Archery Systems, not just Valkyrie Broadheads or Valkyrie Archery, but we build a complete arrow system to maximize your performance and give you the best chance possible of success in the field, just with your arrow. So it's something a lot of guys don't think about. They just go to the local pro shop and buy some arrows and whatever heads they recommend, and without thinking about not just what Broadhead you're using, but also how you're going to build your arrow to maximize your accuracy and your effectiveness in the field, which is penetration. So we looked at all different kinds of shafts, and we knew that the weight forward thing, based off the Ashby studies, as soon as we tested that, it was obvious that the higher the FOC, the tighter our groups were, and the deeper the penetration was, without a doubt. So, and the better they flew in the wind. There's just tons of advantages for the high weight forward. Now, one of the things we got to get clear off the bat is, for compound bows, when we're talking high FOC, it's about 18% or higher, which it's not massive FOC, but compared to old school stuff, it's pretty high. So most of our compound setups that we sell, and the most popular, are about from 18 to 20% FOC. And the arrows are not totally overweight. Most guys are thinking, well, if you put that 200 grain head on there, the arrow is going to weigh so much that it's just going to drop like a rock, which is not true. Well, it is true unless you build the arrow properly. So we put all the weight up front with our Like our lightest head is 160 grains on the center pin and 150 grains on the Blood Eagles. So, but we use stiffer, lighter shafting to make, and we kind of take all the weight out of the heavy shafting. Like I used to run Full Metal jackets, you know, they're 10, 11 grains per inch, somewhere around in there. And then once you get, you know, 30-inch arrow or 28-inch arrow, you got 300 grains of shaft. You don't have a lot to work with components and heads. So we wanted to take as much weight out of the shaft as we could while keeping it stiff without getting too brittle for heavy bone impacts and glancing blows and things like that. So as soon as we tried the micro diameter shafts, it was years ago, Victory had just come out with their VAP arrow, and I just bought a dozen just to check it out. And I built the high FOC setup with the VAP and their in-the-outy components, and was blown away. I mean, I was like, holy cow, this flies so good, it does everything we want it to do. So after we figured out that we needed to run the lightweight micro diameter shafting, that was going to be our delivery mechanism for the Broadhead. But the problem was, when we were trying to screw in the old school converter point adapter with about maybe 3/4 of an inch of shaft engagement with the micro diameter shafting, it was a weak point, even with outserts, and we did all kinds of stuff. We put in bamboo rods, carbon rods, steel pins, outserts over the, you know, like the full-blown standard outserts over the top. It was just kind of weak. Aluminum ones. It was 42 grains for a standard aluminum outsert, and if we had glancing blows off of, we used steel plates, but we were always getting bending or breaking right behind the outsert, and we're trying to figure out a way to do it. I mean, there's lots of aftermarket companies right now that have pins and sleeve or outserts and stuff like that, and for a long time we're grappling with how to build them. We built extra heavy sleeves, super long sleeves, and trying to screw in the old school converter point screw-in system, which was designed for larger diameter shafts. I mean, Fred Bear patented this back in, who knows, a long time ago, and but a completely different shafts. They didn't have the micro diameter. So, and then after like a week of just brainstorming, all of a sudden it just dawned on me, why are we trying to screw in this old school screw-in system designed for older style fatter arrows, carbon arrows. They didn't have carbon when this was designed. They were using aluminum and graphite, I think, or fiberglass arrow shaft. So anyway, it hit me, why don't we just build a screw-in system that'll work with micro diameter and work with itself, with the sleeve and with the screw-in system, to fortify the front end of the shaft. And that's how we came about with the micro diameter, with the center pin system. For more info on center pin system, head over to part 2.